On these streets, the stakes are high and the danger is real.
I don't just do this keep happening, man. That's why I don't play street ball.
Hey, we ain't going nowhere. Do your job. I'm your point guard. I'll take care of you. Come on.
Athens Park, after dark, where only the strong survive. Weak, they question your heart.
Wait sometimes, I love you, 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 I love you for it.
Really caught you in so many different moments, like all your essence just shows through it. I was like, it's very hard to get a reel like that.
Yeah, they're very talented, super talented. It's so much work. Like, it's always amazing to me how talented all the fans are. Like, the art and there's just like people who do dances to songs on the show, and people who do visual art and digital art and editing and write music. And it's really amazing. It's kind of amazing to me how creativity begets creativity. It's sort of like this flow, this cycle that I really love. So yeah, it's incredible to see. It's just so nice to see people getting inspired, you know, to express themselves in whatever form they want to.
Well,
or cosplay is another one, like when people build their own costumes off the show, which is so great. Yeah.
You do that? Or you mean your fans do that?
The fans do that. Yeah. So they'll take a costume and like break it down and find sometimes the exact costume piece. Like they'll find, I don't know how, from a particular store, or they'll build it.
God.
Yeah. It's really amazing.
I'm a fan of Winona Earp.
Yeah, you should look up Winona Earp cosplay. It's very cool.
I was wondering if sometimes you feel it's a huge responsibility, not only as a performer, but as a woman. Mm-hmm. Show up on the set, memorize your lines, and then you're sharing a message that's very powerful and very potent to others.
But yeah, it's a huge responsibility. I mean, as a person too, and I didn't know about Comic-Cons, and, you know, when I got into acting, it was more from a theater perspective. So like the thought of like I'm much more of a, and we kind of talked about this last time, like I'm much more of a actor that likes to hide in my roles. Like I love that acting gives me the freedom or the permission to try something I would never try, or to morph into somebody else that Kat would never be, or wouldn't be brave enough to do that, or whatever.
And especially as artists and performers, a lot of my friends are artists, and I know that they tend to isolate a lot more than your average human being. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's because that's what happens. The genius happens when they're alone.
Right.
Then they get down into that tunnel and they don't come out for a long time. And that can be hazardous.
Yeah. Very well said.
Yeah, but have you ever gone too far and you don't speak to your husband and your parents, and you've been cut off for a few days and you can feel it?
Oh, no, not too far that I don't speak to people. No. But I do, my husband's also an actor, and I think like for all the like stress of having to people working in a very unpredictable industry brings, I think for us, it brings a lot more positivity because we really understand what each other's going through. And I think it would be, I don't know, I really love that about our relationship. And I think like we give each other the space to sort of go through, you know, if we're in a creative slump or not feeling great about something, like we get it, which I'm so grateful for. But isolation, no. I mean, like I've definitely had struggles with my mental health. I've talked about anxiety and depression in the past. I've talked about I was on medication for a year for anxiety and depression. I have been in and out of therapy and different forms of meditation, all to sort of keep my mind strong. I do find that the more I've learned about the science behind it, the more that I am able to catch myself a little sooner. before I spiral down that dark hole, which is really great, and have be able to put these sort of checkpoints in place, I guess, to be like, to pull myself up sooner. And that was all just done through learning how to deal with, like, I'm a very empathetic person. And I think for me, because I'm an actor, so like I'm a feeler for a living. And sometimes that can be really hard because I absorb a lot of energy. Like I'm sort of spongy in that way. And I have to be careful about who I spend time with and what their energy is, and because I'll just suck it in. So that's really important. But all that learning happened through going through it. And I was like in my mid-20s and going through like a couple of really, really tough years, like really dark times, where I learned the tools that I needed for me personally to put in the checkpoints. And it doesn't mean that it still doesn't happen, but I'm much better about managing moving through the world as a very sensitive, emotional person.
He fell, but I got up alive.
Ike witnesses unimaginable trauma.
Absolutely. Well, you're an empath.
Yes, for sure.
I can feel that about you. And what I see with our young teenagers, there's still a stigma, especially for our male actors.
Yeah, for sure.
Really tough time disclosing how they're feeling, whether or not they're anxious, depressed, whether or not they feel as if they can't handle the role. Women are much more apt to share and cry.
Yeah.
So adolescents, especially, our age range is about 18 to 26, our actors.
Yeah.
So that's the way we try to hold them and give them the space to be able to talk about what's going on. But it doesn't always happen in the arts. We still have to give that space. I think I shared with you, I directed autobiographical theater for a long time.
Yes. Yeah, you did. You did.
That was one of the most beautiful parts about it, that young teenagers would share about their depression, about being in love and it's unrequited, about parents that are getting divorced, about their sexuality, about the learning disabilities. And they would write these beautiful monologues, but they were always laced with a little comedy. And I don't know, they're just, all this inhibition just melted away and they shared who they were.
Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful part of acting. I even actually wrote down, you wrote something. Can I read it? It's really sweet.
Sure.
I find it very comforting as an actor, but then especially because it was Melanie, there is a whole other level. When Nicole's going through a real emotional journey through an episode, I leaned on her a lot as an outside eye in a way that I may not have trusted other directors. And that's Melanie Scripano, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Can you tell me what it was like to work with her? Because she sounds extraordinary.
It was amazing. So Melanie directed episode 3 of season 4 of Wynonna Earp. And the real big challenge, I was really, there were so many challenges to that episode. One of the biggest ones is that we shot episode 3 and 4 first, and then we went back and shot 1 and 2. So one of the challenges with that was that we had been away from these characters for like 2 years. And Nicole was in a really dark place. She felt like she had failed. And Nicole's such a person who her sense of duty is so linked to her identity. Her purpose is to keep everybody safe. And she felt like she failed at that and put her family, like all the people that she loves the most, in like very serious danger, almost thinking that they were never coming back. And so she's just dealing with a lot of like almost like a PTSD of this experience of living kind of on the homestead and dealing with these monsters and demons, and she loses her job, and the town she loves falls apart, and like everything about who she is and what she prides on herself on doing well is sort of like just erodes over 18 months. And what I was really struggling with was A, to find Nicole again, but then B, to find the tone of her storyline. Because, so I remember one of the episodes we did that Melanie directed, it's the chili cook-off. And so we have this crazy scene with all these inmates, and Winona's in jail, and there's this like crazy chili cook-off. And it's like a scene laced with a ton of comedy. So one of the most amazing things about the show is it treads this like really interesting line of like 1 second you're crying and the other second you're laughing. And I think that's what makes it such an incredible show, A, to watch and then also to work on, because it's like every episode is so different and you're doing such different, like it's such a gift. And one of the things I was really struggling with was Nicole's emotional state, because you know how we talked about earlier, like you have to play your note or it's just like it's not going to harmonize. So you have to like trust the writers that like they built the chord. You just need to play B flat. But sometimes everyone else is playing these like super gregarious, happy, high energy. And as a person who feeds off of energy, you kind of want to start to go to that place because it feels nicer and it seems like a lot more fun, but you can't because you're not playing that note. So one of the things that was really challenging that Melanie helped me out a lot with, I remember just being like, I just don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm going too dark. I don't know if I'm bringing the tone of this scene down. I feel like I'm in a different world right now than everyone else, but those are also all the things that Nicole is feeling. So it's like very valid to her experience, so it works. But one of the things with working with Melanie, I think it's because she understands the vulnerability of that. Whereas a lot of directors, like if you haven't been an actor before, going back again to what we talked about, like you're the one with the egg on your face if your note feels sour. But with Melanie, I was able to be really vulnerable and honest about that and trust that like she wasn't going to let me fall because she knew what that felt like.
Raptors are great. I'll
What's that?
watch a game with you.
Okay, that sounds great. Well, next time we can travel, we have a lot of things to do. I'm going to come see Bounce, and then we'll go to a basketball game.
Yes, and we can practice in my living room.
In your living room, on your net. Exactly. It will be perfect. I can't wait. So what's happening with Bounce now? Like, so what are you guys amidst all this? Because I just think it's such an incredible, like I think we talked last time, but I think it's so amazing. And it makes me so happy when I heard about the project.
Really excited because the New York premiere of Bounce is going to be performed at the Harlem Stage in early spring of 2022. And we'll also be doing promo shows in this fall. And we would love if you and your fans could come and watch, come to New York.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I mean, it's like everything that I love.
So that will be very exciting for Bounce to perform. So there's
so is it like the same cast that you're using, or is it sort of like a rotation of whoever is available at the time?
We wish we still had the same flight, but he has moved on and his knees started giving away because it's very taxing on your body.
Very physical. Yeah, for sure.
Very rigorous. But we're in a search for flight. I'll send you all the recs.
Great.
A beautiful Black man that can sing opera, that can play basketball. We're not asking too much.
I know, right? I'm like, geez, that's a tall order.
This game, this beautiful game, this simple but complex game, has given me joy, given me pain. But this game has always been a friend, soothing my soul with each shot at the rim. This game allows the
quiet ones to speak, with crossovers, jump shots, and high-flying feet on a full-court stage of hardwood and concrete. This game is my instrument. This game is my drum beat. This game gave me the strength to reclaim my name. So I celebrate my love for this game, this beautiful game. We celebrate our love for this game, this beautiful game. We celebrate our love for this game.
I'm sure you'll find him.
And people that we audition, everyone is just so excited to be a part of this.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled to have you come see it.
I just can't wait to see where it goes. I'm really, really excited for the next couple years of the journey of the show.
Really, I hope we can keep this dialogue going. I am just enamored with you. I think you're so
Aww, thank you.
You're so easy to talk to. Someone at the Public was casting for a brand new original theatrical piece. Would you ever audition for it one day? Would you do that?
Well, of course, I totally would. Absolutely. I mean, I'd love to. I miss theater very much. And I've been so fortunate to work on incredible television shows. But I would love to work on theater again. I mean, I keep on saying to my husband, like, I want to go to New York for like a 2-week Shakespeare intensive, or like that would just be such a dream to just go. And, you know, I think when you're acting, it's so rare that you get that conservatory experience again, where like it was when you were in school, where all you were focused on was exploring this craft for however many years. And I would just love that. And I really like, it took me a while to fall in love with New York until the last time I went. I don't know why. It just like, I wasn't like an instant in love person. I've been enough times now that I definitely, like, for me, if I was to ever live in the States, I think it would be New York. I spent a few years on and off, like 5 years living in Los Angeles, and it's a great city, but New York is much more my style, my vibe that I like. So it's an amazing place. But would I mean, yeah, sure, I'd audition. I don't know how I do, but I try.
This program, if there must be a 2-week intensive here in the city. Let's make it happen. Let's manifest it.
There must be something. Okay, we'll manifest it. That will be on the 2021, maybe 2022 because of COVID, but 2022.
Let's see. Maybe you'll come to one of our rehearsals.
That's so fun. Yes, I don't know. I don't know what the next couple of years are going to be, but it's going to be awesome, whatever it is.
And again, I'm so grateful.
Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful to you.
Barrell, you are just a wonderful person. And
thank you.
We're going to see each other soon.
I do too, Jackie. Thank you so much for chatting with me. This was awesome. It's so lovely to get to know you and hear about what you're doing. And I can't wait till we get to hang out in person. It's going to be so fun. See you.
Crossovers, jump shots, and high-flying feet on a full-court stage of hardwood and concrete. This game, this my instrument. This game, this my drum beat.